Wigata sini kia Ndizi TV na bogo tubuate witera senjere y'umutandao ya www.ndizitv.net ili kutuligirelia na wigo usonje mirubiri yito chinsemero ngibiri nyaranka na bogo sonje witera sesimi yao yakoboko laptop smart TV iliyo wegokie Ndizi TV obwanso obumagusi.
Ndizi TV obwansu bw'omugusi.
Bene ase entunda yende ime omuruberi obwensakya ase kinga kitwaganyete cyabere cyobekirana abageni baito bekiranire ase studio astara tukusanga anemono igoro yabasaye nobo rai ase umonchumuri Ndizi TV no tubwatia ase ntiri mtandaito Facebook Ndizi TV News Digital YouTube Ndizi TV News na bwetera ase ntirilia mtandao www.ndizitv.net na mbetesa 0792928834 0792192834 mwanchumurere Ndizi TV asengencho abageni baichimambia bono abange babo muno yoito bweke gusi mbali koyoigwa nabo igo mbali koyokwana nabo rago twanchira ane muno asogo okwana gusanga naye gwetera ase okuburukania emenwa omonwa bwegesongo egeswali nabo igo ekegusi ase yogendo tubwatia nabo igo tobeto kwemanya amange n'abarayi baborokia as university ose chinsemo chiti skuru chekerengo kigoro basange na intwe korende nigo nabinko bali bagali bene batumanyimbara byaba nabo igo bagosanga na intwe ase mambi yabono. Dear viewers, we are going to have an interview this morning and we are not going to use only Ekegusi, but we're going to mix a lot of languages in a way that to ensure that we get to converse with our visitors this morning, some of which are not English Ekegusi speakers. They speak well in Swahili and English, so you will bear with us this morning, but I will be able to clarify on areas where you may have some difficulties in getting to know what you're going to speak about. Good morning and welcome to Ndizi TV this morning.
Yes, good morning everyone.
Welcome. We'll start by introduction, starting from our friend Maticha Laban. I think you speak in Ekegusi. You can introduce yourself in Ekegusi.
Okay.
Right.
I stand greeted. Nchenkoro ku Maticha Laban, nchino mwanafunzi idari school ya Law, Kenyatta University. I am currently attached to the office of the Attorney General, headquarters Sheria House. I work at Julia Mukundi Advocates, and I'm a concerned citizen. I served in the 19th Congress of the Kenyatta University, and I'm here to share insights. Ndokwa na mange, looking forward to engage you positively.
Next, we can have Ms. Kaka on board. Ama najita Emma Kaka.
Wakira Mwensi, Asamarita Koruga Kaka, Koru Multimedia University, accounting students.
Welcome. Madzao. But
I will try speaking Gusi. My name is Madzao Rochandegwa. I am the current president of the Premier University of Nairobi, and I'm also a concerned citizen. I'm the founder and chairman of the charity campaign, and I'm glad to be here.
welcome on board. And then finally we have you have a difficult name, a big name. Kerabich Carlos. You're next, but you'll help us know how to pronounce your name well. Good morning too.
My name is Kerabich Carlos. I'm the Secretary General, Mount Kenya University, and a youth champion.
accurate.
Mbuya. Alright. Asubuhi ya leo ningependa kwanza tuweze kuzungumzia kwamba ni nini hiki kilichowapa ile msukumo ya kuwa viongozi. Natumai tuna viongozi watatu katika kikao hiki asubuhi ya leo. Mngeweza kuzungumza nini hiki ambacho kiliweza kuwapa msukumo wa kuwania hizo viti za uongozi. Tuanze kwake Madzayo.
Asante kwa fursa hii. Jambo la kwanza ambalo kila mmoja wetu anajua ni kwamba kando na umaskini, taifa letu liko na uhaba wa viongozi ambao wako na zile qualities ambazo zinafaa kwa uwezo wema. Kwa muda si mrefu ama katika historia ya taifa letu kama Kenya, tumeona kwamba viongozi wengi, 60% na zaidi ya viongozi ambao wanachaguliwa, wengi wao ni wakora, wengi wao hawana maadili mema, wengi wao hawana nia njema na maslahi ya wananchi. Ndio maana mimi kama Madzayo nikaona nisipokuwa uongozi basi ni vipi sitalaumu mwingine kwa kuchukua nafasi hiyo. Maana tumekuwa tukiamboko we are not interested in politics, and the leader that will serve, they will serve to your interest. Ndio maana mimi nikaona basi vile mimi najijua ni napenda wananchi, acha nichukue hatamu ya uongozi, ndio pia taifa langu liende kwa njia ambayo ningependa kuona ikienda, ili nisikuje kulaumu kwamba huyu anafanya hivi na vile. Ili kama ningekuwa hapo na ningechangia vyema katika kupeleka taifa letu mbele. Tumaini nimekujibu hivi.
Tuende kwake Emma.
Okay. Mimi the push yenye ilifanya ni viral because I feel like lazima ukwe, you speak for yourself. Ni kama kuniuliza mbona mtu unaamka asubuhi kwenda kuvote. Yes. Like lazima if you see there's something that should be done, well, yeah, we should do it.
All right, let's go next to Carlos.
Okay, well, for me it's about the passion to lead. You know, like youth must just come out and stand for themselves and take the lead. So I came out and strongly vied for the position so that I can be able to represent my people and help my fellow youth to realize their dreams and unleash their potential so that their voices can be heard.
All right. That's great. Laban, you said you were a student leader before, or have you ever served in any leadership position before?
Yes, I served under the 19th Congress of Kenyatta University, Parklands campus, and I'm barred by the constitution of the KUSA not to vie again because we are limited to only 2 terms. I joined campus politics, saying in Chonda take over the change that we are talking of, that we can agitate for drastic measures to ensure that our nation in a move forward. And going by that, niliweza ku campaign and champion for better conditions of students, better living conditions of students, and an environment that is hospitable and conducive for learning. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's great. Majorly, we want to start by looking on youth and governance. I believe you are at a position right now where you are serving. I wish to know at the moment, what have you been able to do? You can speak of that one thing that you've been able to do so far as a leader that you're proud of, before we entrust you with the governance of this country as young people, we have to tell us what you've done before. I can start it off with Madzayo.
Thank you. I think one thing that I can proudly say, even when I go to my graveyard, is that I strongly defended the right to education, free education for my students, and not just from your end, but all across the country. From the onset, from the time the unified model was initiated, I was on the forefront, which can attest the forefront, speaking the truth, that we don't really need a model that will divide students into bands when it is the right and it is the role of the government to provide free and quality education. Of course, the war will not yet won it. Kerabich can speak on that. We've been on the streets to mend our quality, but at least we are seeing some fruits. As of now, the High Court has suspended the implementation after they received our petition that we submitted last week. So I think that's one of the gains that I can say at least I have done my very best to ensure that all students will get free and quality education as we did. Because starting from next year, this model is to be implemented. Trust you me, those coming to campus after us won't do that we had when we are doing it. They won't be paying the low fees. And as of now, we can see how the economy is messed up. So now trying to add more weight by putting fees, we'll have more of our students dropping out, and we'll be punishing bright students. Apart from that, the other thing that I can say I have been able to deliver is lowering of accommodation fees of my institution from 42,000 to about 20,000 now. That's one of the win I can say that I've been able to deliver for this short time that I've been able to serve as a student. And above all, I have listened to my students, at least with the help of leaders like Akina Kerabich and others. We are trying to revive back student activism that was there back then. Because if we're very honest with ourselves, we have really had no opposition in this country. This year, if we really had an opposition in this country, we wouldn't be where we are now. Right now, the citizens are solely on their own. The government can wake up and decide we are going to paint all buildings red and not speak about it. But they were during the 90s, the students were the real opposition. The times of Naraila, in Orengo, in Matiba, such in Matakaro, when they were the ones that were in the real opposition. So as of now, we are trying to revive that back. Of course, there is much resistance. Kerabich can say more on that. There is so much resistance, but we are doing our best. I'm sure with time, if God wills, we will bring back the glory that was once there in students' activism, that was on the forefront to defend the rights of not only students, but also of those students who lack a voice. Because we are a voice not only students, but also of a larger population that is Kenyans at large. Okay.
That's great. Let's go next to Kerabich. You can tell us more about what you are proud of as a student leader. What have you been able to achieve?
Thank you so much. Thank you, my good brother from the Premier. I've been able to achieve a lot. One, I want to say that I'm always at the forefront of ensuring that a fair representation of my people to different capacities. Through my office, one, I've always been at the forefront of steering the campaign against gender-based violence, partnering with different organizations, either. We've realized that a lot of youth, a majority of the youth are dying because of the mental stress, basically from the depression, relationship issues, domestic violence, and a lot of issues. So, I've been able to do about the sexual masterclass, teaching on the youth, like a public campaign against the use of contraceptives, to reduce stigma within our youth and the society. As one of my roles and the major is about the security of my comrades, both internally and externally. So I've been able to come up with initiatives and forums where we can engage the community, the university, and the business men and women around that can see areas of collaboration and the police, so so that in areas of, for example, insecurity, maybe the unfortunate scenes we witness of the comrades dying prematurely, on how we can come and curb the issues. So yeah, it's been a lot.
All right, let's move on to Emma. I know, Emma, you represent both genders, the male, the female. But however, you know, as a lady, when you are chosen in any leadership position, you hold the voice of the women. I don't know what you've been able to do, especially in advocating for the rights of the girl child in your institution or at large, and also speak about one or two achievements you're proud of.
Okay, so from my end, I think any youth with a title Amanos, anyone who is there, kwa street to advocate for what you want, that is an achievement to all of us. And then secondly, from the few connections that I have, I think we're partnered with we have had partnerships for school. That is for girl child. We brought bags to school and staff so that they initially toil. And also we've had things to do with scholarships. We've had things to do with mental health, health issues. I mean, to get through checkups, to get all that. And we've started a campus league for the campus students and anyone who refers to himself herself as a leader, where we have one group where we have leaders who can speak what you want, we decide what you want, and then we have someone going out there for us.
Asante sana.
I think
na tukisonga kwake tufike kwake Laban, ningependa kwa sababu wewe unafahamu sheria uweze kufafanulia asubuhi ya leo kama vijana ni jinsi ipi ambavyo sheria hutupa nguvu sisi kama vijana, na pia katika uongozi uhuru wa vijana ni upi ule?
Katiba imetupa nguvu nyingi kama vijana kwamba we are considered special groups and youth of this country, like any other citizen, we are the people and power emanates from us. We are the custodians of the powers and we donate it to our leaders. Youth is defined kwa katiba yetu ya nchi kuwa yeyote yule ambaye ako chini ya miaka 35 ni youth, ni kijana, na kwamba tunaweza kujitoza katika viti vya uongozi, tukaweza kujisalimisha katika IEBC na tuweze kuvai, and from it we can champion for the rights, grievances of the people who we shall be seeking to represent. Vijana wengi kwa muda mrefu wameweza kutojitokeza katika uongozi, kuunda serikali by not voting. Voter apathy has been witnessed for a long time, and tumedharauliwa sana kuwa Gen Z hatuna uwezo, kwa sababu 2027 itakapofika wanakisia kwamba hatutajitokeza kupiga kura. Ningependa kusema kwamba usipojitokeza kupiga kura ndio the only avenue that they can use to steal votes. It is the only avenue they can use to intimidate the electorate. Let us be part of this governance. Let us champion for better leadership. And it is this activism that my brother Rocha alikuwa anasema kwamba kina Orengo waliweza kujitokeza na kutokana na mambo kama vitendo kama hizo za kina Orengo, ndio maana we can even enjoy multi-party democracy. We are very young, very energetic. Let us get into those streets. Let us conquer those streets and champion for positive leadership and governance. Let us call them out because of the impunity that they are showing us and parading that we, youth, hatuna uwezo kwa manake siku ya kupiga kura wanasema sisi tunatokea ikiwa tumelewa chakari the previous night na hatuna nguvu ya kuweza kupiga kura. La hasha. Let us change. Let us change the narrative, the whole narrative that is very retrogressive. Asante sana.
Ningependa kusonga upande mwingine niweze kuzungumza naye Mazayo. Najua kwamba katika tumekuwa na mambo mengi katika nchi yetu ya Kenya mwaka huu. Tumeona kwamba vuguvugu la Gen Z limeweza kuleta mabadiliko katika nchi yetu ya Kenya. Lakini ningependa kwanza uweze kuzungumzia upande wako. Uliweza kukua mmoja wapo wa wale vijana ambao waliweza kuandamana ama waliopigania haki na uhuru wa nchi yetu ya Kenya wakati ambapo sheria ya kifedha ilikuwa inataka kupitishwa, na pia uweze kuzungumzia pia yale ambayo uliweza kuyapitia katika maandamano haya.
Asante sana kwa swali hilo kaka yangu. Ni kweli nilijihusisha na yale maandamano ya yale maandamano yenye ambayo yalifanywa mwezi ule wa 6 mwezi wa Juni. Hata kabla ya maandamano hayo kuanza, mimi na wenzangu tulikuwa tunatoa zile press tukisema kwamba serikali haifai kupitisha mswada huu maana wananchi hawataki. Na kama wananchi hawataki, basi ni jukumu la serikali iliyopo kusikiza matakwa yao. Maana kama serikali kama viongozi ni waajiriwa wa wananchi, basi inapaswa wafanye yale ambayo wananchi wametuma. Maana one of the three roles of the MPs of the legislators ni representation. Napo ku represent meaning you represent what I tell you to do. Kwa hivyo wananchi walikuwa wameambiwa jumbe wao kuwa hawataki mswada huo. Kwa hivyo haikuwa inaandikalia vizuri kuona kwamba wabunge hawa ambao wamechaguliwa na wananchi wanaambiwa vote no, leo wabunge wao bado wana vote yes. Jambo hilo lilinikadhabisha sana, na msemi peke yangu, ili mimi na wanafunzi wenzangu na baadhi ya wanafunzi wangu wa pale chuo kikuu cha Nairobi niambia basi kwamba sasa vile wabunge wameamua wa vote yes, twende maandamano. Mimi pia ni I represent their problem, so when they tell me go right, I go right. So when they say that, tukaunda group, tukajimobilize sisi wenyewe na tukaingia kwa barabara kwa amani. Tukiwa tuna barakoa zetu na maji na zile goggles na lab coats na firimbi zetu na mabubu zetu. Na yote yalikuwa vizuri kabla ya wale magunzi ama wahalifu ingilia na kufanya maandamano haya kuwa ya violent ama kuwa na uhalifu mwingi. Na ndio so nilijihusisha, lakini ndani kama tumeachieve much ama kama tumeachieve as much as we could have. Maana from me na ndani we really had an opportunity to make a significant change in our nation, not the Thomas Group, but we really had a chance of saying that we as youth, we want this and this and this to be done. This was a chance for us to say we need an inclusion or the inclusivity of our youth, not just in government spaces, but also in the corporate sectors. And up to now, even not only government, and the private sector, we as youth aren't really being listened to. You have to take a lot of time to be listened to. Na pia before we upande kile cheo kikubwa mpaka ukue mzee, it's like you are rewarding age instead of experience, instead of effectiveness. So this was one of the points that we really missed out on as the Gen Z, if I may use that term. But I'm sure we are headed. At least we had some wins here and there. At least the CAS were able to be disbanded. At least we had a reshuffle. At least we had the CSs being changed. Of course, we had some of the politicians also benefiting from our sweat. But that's how politics is. It's a game of interest. But as my friend has said here, just before me, that we have a chance to make a significant change come 2027. So I hope to all those youths who are listening to me and to us that we will take great concern and great interest in politics when it comes to 2027. Of course, as early as now, let us first take our ideas, engage in civic education na wazazi wetu na ndugu zetu kule vijijini, ndio maana ndio kila mmoja ajue jukumu lake katika kupeleka taifa letu mbele, ili ifikapo mwaka ule wa 2027 sasa tuchague viongozi ambao tungependa kuona pale mgeni, na mabadiliko yanaanza na sisi. Before the country changes, I should first change. So I hope that the leaders that we're going to elect come 2027 will really represent our problems and our issues, so that we don't have a replica of what we saw this year. And my prayer is that this coming 3 years will be smooth, because if we frank with ourselves, hii miaka mbili ambayo imeisha imekuwa miaka mingine migumu sana. Tangu nzaliwe sijapitia maisha magumu kama miaka mbili ambayo imepita. Mpaka una feel kama uko suffocated everywhere, in pressure, tension. So I hope these 3 coming years, at least the president and his people, at least will streamline the nation, because the general mood of the public is that the government is bad. That's the general mood. So they really have a tussle, but they really have our work to do. Yeah, that's all I can say. But we shall be on the streets when need be. We won't shy away from our mandate and from our duty that we have been given by the students who really had hopes in us. Thank you.
Na next tunaenda kuzungumza naye Kera Beach aweze kuzungumza nasi. Ni vipi tutaweza kuamini vijana na uongozi, kwa sababu tumeona kwamba ama vile ambavyo mweza kuzungumza kwamba kulikuwa na wale viongozi ama wale vijana ambao wakati za enzi za Moi tuliona kwamba kulikuwa na watu ambao walikuwa vijana wakati ule wakaweza kupigania vijana, lakini walipoingia katika madaraka ya uongozi wameweza kubadilika. Na pia ningeweza kuzungumzia mfano wa hivi karibuni siku ya Ijumaa. Tuliona kijana ambaye alikuwa amevuma katika mitandao wakati wa maandamano, anaitwa Kasmuel Makoure. Tuliweza kuona kwamba ameweza kubadili muenendo. Ni jinsi ipi tuweza kuamini vijana na tumeanza kuona mienendo kama hii?
Interesting. First, I would want to say that youth must be the majority of the population in this country, or just nationwide, are the youths, and therefore youth play a very important role within our society. So, if you want change, it must begin from the youth. And the youth are the people who are supposed to champion this. We must take the lead. And that's why I want to second my brother, Roger. We actively participated in the demonstration. But you know, one thing where the blunder was is that we came up with a slogan, we are partyless, we are leaderless. Let me tell you, for example, leadership provides direction and discipline. And that is why there were people who took advantage of our demonstration, peaceful demonstration, unarmed. The only thing we had was online dominance, and we could be able to express our grievances. But on the same note, the question you asked me is very key, because we have youths who are legislators or MPs in the Parliament of Kenya. People like Kuria Kimani, Silvana Sosoro, Babu Wino. But what did the majority of them do to us? For example, in the case of the finance bill, you see, like it takes a lot when we youths want the change, or we want to be highly represented in the parliament, for example. But the same youths, the few representation that we have there are the number one people who let us down when it comes to such critical matters. So basically, as Roger said, politics is a game of interest. What we need to do is the civic education for youth to be taken seriously. We need to do more civic education, whether through media platforms that we've always done, engagements within our society and community, and we tell them the effects and the impact of electing bad and good leaders on both our sides. And I think the youth must come out and prove to the society and educate them why they need to convince the rest of the society why they need more representation in the leadership fields, capacities. Yeah, I think that will be one of the best, because we cannot just get out there in a day that we are youth. We are going to elect our own. What does the youth have more than the rest of the society? So it's upon us to strongly come out, do more civic engagement, educate our people, tell our young people the importance of participating in the democratic right, that is voting. And we cannot just vote correctly. We must come out in large numbers, register as voters, educate our old grannies back in the village. And on the day of voting, we must come out very determined and preoccupied with the person that we are going to elect, as we believe the change is going to happen. Yeah.
Next tunaenda kuzungumza naye Emma. Ningependa uweze kuzungumzia wakati tuliona kwamba kizazi cha Gen Z kiliweza kujitokeza na kupigania haki zao. Tuliona kwamba kuna wanadada pia hawakuacha nyuma, kama yule mwanadada aliyemwambia Raila Odinga, wakati wako wa kutupigania umeisha. Tuliona ukakamavu wa kinadada wakati wa maandamano hayo. Wanadada wengi wameweza kujitokeza. Najua shughuli hii ya kupigania haki imeonekana ni wanaume peke yake. Na pia katika nchi yetu ya Kenya sasa hivi tuna wanadada ama kina mama karibu 6 ambao ni magavana. Ningependa uweze kutuambia kwa siku za usoni unaonaje, hata kama nchi yetu bado tuweza kufikia lile lengo la katiba kwamba 2/3 gender rule, hatujaona kwamba imeweza kuafikiwa. Do you see that we have a bright future in terms of women who are coming out in leadership, and what does the future hold for us in terms of women leadership in Kenya?
Okay, thank you. I think si kama wanadada, we're the first people to say we are advocating for gender equity. So it's only fair that you take part in whatever is happening. So tusiachie wanaume wafanye vitu fulani. And as ladies, I believe we've got a point where if we show you guys that we can rule in a certain way, tutatoa hiyo perspective ya huyu ni msichana siwezi mvotia. Yes. Because mashinani ukeza apply kwa governor, nikisoma kwa governor ya Nyamira, wote wacheno mwezeke. And that will be it for me. Yeah. So I think as you're going, if people start seeing the leadership that ladies can bring, itafika to a point where the gender is not really an issue. Yeah, and taking part in the Mandamano was like what was needed for us to do. I mean, we're just citizens, but from us being ladies and stuff, we only human. Yeah.
That is well and good. Ningependa kusonga upande mwingine tuweze kuzungumza naye Laban anaweza kuzungumza nasi tuweze kufafanulia kisheria, kwa sababu tumeona kwamba katika nchi yetu ya Kenya tuna mambo mengi ambayo yanaendelea. Tunayo kuna utamaduni wetu. Tumeona kwamba kabla hata uulizie kiti chochote cha uongozi aswa katika mashinani, unaulizwa kwamba umeoa. Najua hiyo ni swala ambalo people like value marriage, especially before you are given a leadership position. Another thing that we usually see in Kenya, there's something called system. During the last election, we heard that there is a system that determines who becomes the president. And I'm seeing young people are coming out, they want to fight for their own rights. How does the constitution empower these young people? And is there hope with this system? You know, we have system, we have cultures. And what role does the civic education maybe have in terms of changing all these dynamics in order to ensure that we have leaders who are going to be leaders who are accountable, transparent, and also maybe we have youthful people getting into leadership positions?
Thank you so much. We have been given power to have every man to have one vote. Provided you are 18 years, you can be a registered voter. And Chapter 6, the Katiba on leadership and integrity inatupa the guidelines ama pointers za refer to when we shall be checking the government. A philosopher Nero or Thomas Hobbes, whatever, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Nga riri umrai aseire gari ase ekerogo. It is the power of the again to check this leader, because if we don't have a system of checks and balances, they will then abuse their power. You get it? And then we youth who form a majority of the electorate have that power to decide who will be our next leader if all of us get to vote. Civic education is the only avenue that we now have that we can use to champion for better governance in this nation. Ngeti dirito wochi kogenda sichi village igari kingo wende igari kom oyonde agende kiama bundu oyonde agende daraja oyonde agende mwembe. Get to the grassroots and tell those who are not informed that this and this is right. This and this is what ought to be done right. And we are past the dictatorship era where if you speak, you'll be in trouble. Rather, we have the freedom of expression to call out these leaders who are wrong without fear of intimidation, without fear or favor. Unanipata? Kwamba, provided we are within the confines of the law, we can express our positions as youth without any intimidation. Civic education, ile ambayo iko nasemanga, we have two villages that we need to fight. We need to fight for better alignment in regards to politics. Number one ni uko mashinani ambapo watu wananunuliwa na 200 Riva Eru Echanga. They get to vote in favor of those who are not in favor of the larger population. Number two, Facebook. When you are engaging people in Facebook, is when you get to realize what mashinani iko shida. Kwamba huko ndio utaambiwa ailaba nto konyara. I championed Kisii Central Ward in favor of a fellow youth in the past election. And Ririthoko, we are selling when we are selling our manifesto, you're being told, Tora nyuma, Regio Mukungu kwanza, ngeti to konyara.
Najua hata ukikuwa na pesa wanaweza kutafutia pia.
Ati?
Some of them even are ready to give you a wife before you contest for that seat.
Yes, bro. Let me be honest with you. Owo nyumba yenye tuko nayo hapo Kisii. Mnava Gusii is what is killing us. Abantu still have a mindset that if you're not married, if you're not a family man and you have a family, you cannot lead. But are those really the metrics for evolution of a better leader? The metrics for the same would be what is the quality of the quality of your word? Can you be trusted? have you served before in any other docket and you have performed? What is your track record? And can you champion for the interest of the people and have your governance leadership iwe in a line katiba? But the electorate, what do they do in the local level? They tell you, I throw nyoma, no konyara. I know Musae, tiga sininigo, tiga toe babwe mamba. Na kutomanete, ngeti wanaweza. And it is in the public domain. These people have been in governance for the longest time. I was born in Kisii Central Ward. Born and raised in Gekong. From the era of the mayors. And Tirito was Suachi Street, Ogoteva, Vandunga. Tigato Temekwa, Abasae Bono, Orenki Babuate. Bagote Tevanga, Ogote Tevi, Toba. Lakini mkibao korari wako ya 200 yao. They betrayed us. We had duplicity of leadership. And from the same, they'll still say, Uburai, and then we still know you guys. When we come to ask for your vote, you will tell us we are not married. That if you cannot govern our home, then what can you show us that you can lead a population? I'll speak these native because ninchase panele ninchori ndatevye abategere bibaito bayandizi TV baribare village. Thank you.
Aha, tuende kwake Mazayo. Ningependa tuzungumzie swala lingine ambalo ni swala ambalo linaathiri vijana wengi haswa kuhusu elimu za shule ama vyuo vikuu. Haswa tumeona kwamba kulikuwa na the new funding model ambayo iliweza kuanzishwa chini ya uongozi wake Dr. William Ruto, lakini kana kwamba mliweza kukua na kikao naye katika ile ambayo aliita kwamba ni town hall meeting engagement. Kwanza ningependa uzungumzie kwamba yale mapendekezo ambayo mliweza kuyatoa yaliweza kusikizwa.
Asante sana kwa fursa hii. Ukiangalia mapendekezo ambayo tulimwambia rais na wale viongozi walikuwa hapo, ikiwemo waziri wa wakati huo Mashugu, Mheshimiwa Mashugu, ikiwemo pia yule PS Mheshimiwa Inyanga na wengineo wengi. Mapendekezo yetu yalikuwa wazi kabisa. Tuliwaambia kama hatuwezi kurudi kwa ule mfumo wa awali uliokuwa unaitwa DUC, differentiated unit cost, ambapo serikali ilikuwa inalipia 80%, ilikuwa inapaswa kulipia 80% ya karo za kila mwanafunzi. Alafu wewe kama mwanafunzi ulipa kupitia jamii mlipe 20%. Hilo ndilo lilikuwa pendekezo la kwanza, either turudi kwa ule mfumo mpya wa awali, ama kama hiyo ni ngumu basi ile imeshindwa kabisa, tutoe ile bandi ya 4 na bandi ya 5, ili tupate na bandi 1, 2 na bandi 3. Ambapo hapo tunaona kwamba hakuna mwanafunzi ambaye angekuwa analipa pesa zaidi ya 60,000 kwa mwaka ikiwa tumetoa bandi 4 na bandi 5. Maana bandi 4 na bandi 5 zikiwa katika orodha ya zile bandi, tunapata watu wanalipa hata 1,200, wengine 1,500. So kando na kutoa band 4 na band 5, pendekezo lingine lilikuwa zile mikopo. Maana hii ni fund model imegawanya karo ama ada ya shule katika vitengo vitatu. Kuna kile kitengo cha household contribution ambacho ni ile amount ambayo mzazi anafaa atoe. Alafu kuna loan. Loan, unajua loan ni mkopo yenye unapewa ambao ilikuwa unalipa inalipa na 6% interest loan. Alafu kuna banking, kuna hii platform sasa hizo tatu. So tukao tumeambia serikali watoe hizo loans, basi kuwa na loan. Hizo loans zikuwe grants. Na unajua ukipatia mwanafunzi loan ikiwa hata bado hajaanza kazi, by the time anamaliza shule, hiyo loan inakuwa imeaccrue interest na pia inakuwa mzigo kwake yeye na pia kwa jamii kwa ujumla. Maana mwanafunzi huyu wasum amemaliza pia kama painulia alafu anakosa kazi. Sasa mwanafunzi huyu anakuwa na mzigo wa kulipa loan ilhali wakati huo hana kazi. Kwa hivyo serikali tukwambia hizo loans zikuwe grants, ndio kila mwanafunzi apatiwe pesa tu, lakini asitarajiwe kulipa pesa hizo hadi baada ya muda fulani. Hayo ndio yalikuwa mapendekezo yetu, na pia evaluation ama ya cost, ya academic cost of every program. Maana tulikuwa tunashangaa ni vipi course kama ya daktari inaweza cost karibia milioni. Naona course kama sio walimu ina cost karibia 200,000. Hiyo ina maana kwamba yule mtu ambaye aliweka hiyo, alifanya evaluation ama aliweka cost ya hiyo course, ni kama alikuwa ameiongeza zaidi ya ile ambayo ambayo inapaswa. Na kwa sasa hakuna mapendekezo yote ambayo yamesikilizwa. Kwa sasa tu kuna committees ziliundwa ambao wale ambao watakaa kwa muda wa miezi miwili waangalie yale mapendekezo tulikuwa tumesema, alafu baada ya miezi miwili tukasema watatuambia ni yapi watakuwa wamekubaliana. Lakini kwa sisi ambao tulikuwa adamant, bado tumestick to what we had stood for before. Kama si DUC, October 4 and 5, those are our main concerns, or those are our main concerns. Now we are waiting to see what the government will do. Baada ya koti kuu ama baada ya koti kuu kususpend the implementation of your new model, bado serikali haijatoa msimamo wao kuhusiana na ruling hiyo ya High Court.
Going back to maybe going to Kera Beach, I wonder you tell us, do you think the student leaders who are chosen to in that committee to speak on matters or to address matters, new funding model, they'll represent the interest of the youth or the university students?
Kindly pardon your question.
I'm asking, do you think that the student leaders who are chosen in that committee that is going to be part of those people who are going to speak up, going to maybe deliberate on the new funding model, do you have confidence that they will represent your views?
Well, zero confidence. Those are people who are, the problem with the student leadership nowadays, it's a divide and rule thing. And you must ask yourself, we have around 70 universities in this country. But let's take, for example, the University of Nairobi, where Rocha lives. There are more than 5 representations of the same. While universities like Southeastern Kenya University are not represented, where's the representation from students from, for example, Congo University, Sinde Muliro University, Technical University of Mombasa. So you definitely realize some of those people who are chosen to be part of the committee are not all student leaders. So what does that one imply? When there's not proper and fair representation of the student leadership, what does the government imply? And the student from the University of Nairobi more important, and that's why they have more representation. And the students, for example, from Romo University, are they not Kenyans? Are they not our students? And education is a constitutional right. Everybody is mandated to, in fact, should be mandated to free and compulsory education in this country. The people who are chosen to that committee are going to be manipulated, because why is it, for example, are they being called after implementing the process? For one, it's almost approaching 2 years. The new funding model has now worked for the previous year and this year. What are they going to do, for example? What are they going to bring to the table that we have not tabled for people who are left outside, like us and me, Rocha, when he had the town hall? Things are too I feel the best case scenario is that the government should come up with a mechanism that's a formidable solution to bring the free education to all. But the worst case scenario, if the new funding model is to be implemented, we had agreed that let band 4 and 5 to be scrapped off, so that we have band 1, 2, and 3. Because we must also agree there is also faultiness in the government system. So it does not truly reflect on someone's background, the rule of the necessity that is required for someone to be placed. And at the end of the day, the worst that happens, why would you classify our students into different bands? I think education should be based on merit, as it was previously, not based on and the background where someone comes from. That's a total discrimination to our kids, to our society. And I'm seeing a situation where we are going to register more school dropouts, especially at the campus level, because the amount of money that is being paid, if it's not rectified and band 4 and 5 exist, we are going to register more youth dropping out of school. And that will be a total challenge, because Kenya has not reached even 10% of the people who are educated. We are still down. And you know, education, poverty, equality, these are one of the 17 SDGs which were proposed by the UN, I think around 2015, to help realize the Vision 2030. So if we cannot make education to be cheaply to our parents and society, how are we going to reduce the high rate of unemployment, poverty in our areas? Like it's sort of like, so to me, I don't even see the need of appointing a group of student leaders to represent for the new funding model when everything has been implemented. It means when all the other Kenyans would have been required for the student leaders that put their farm to start against the new funding model, basically it will have passed. You know, we are in a very funny country. Doing a bit at wave, and it will have so the best that the government can do, if they insist, because I understand the new funding model to some extent applies, because there were some universities which are collapsed. Like for example, Egerton University, it has just been closed indefinitely because of the wrangles and the tribalism. The University of Nairobi here, the premium was collapsed. Pacha will tell you that. If it amounts to be implemented, then let them scrap off band 4 and 5 and try to at least come up with the bridge the gap in the faultiness that is in the system. I know a system cannot be it, but at least they can have mechanisms of bridging that gap. Yeah.
Ningependa tuende kwake Laban aweze kutuelezea kwamba kutokana naye mtazamo wake, na pia aweze kutufafanulia kisheria kwamba tuliona kwamba mahakama iliweza kusimamisha kutekelezwa kwa new funding model. Aweze kutuambia kisheria inamaanisha nini?
Thank you so much. When the High Court did suspend and declare the new funding model kwamba haitaweza kuendelea, inamaanisha kwamba masuala yote ambayo serikali imeweza kutenga na kuweza kuambia wananchi wataweza kutimiza regarding the new funding model, it gets to a halt, it gets to stop. But we are not fools. We know how this government runs. These are government which was elected, and when during the inaugural speeches, they said they would respect. They took an oath of office to say that they will decisions, like the housing levy, still got to pass even after it was being declared unconstitutional, and all was brought to a halt by the court. This government, led by President Ruto, Mr. Ruto advises his advisors how to advise him. Yet, we have constitutional provisions. Let me be a bit legal here, brother. Article 55, inasema nini? Government to ensure education to the youth. 56, Article 56 is affirmative action to include youth in governance and in regards to public participation. Article 10, national values and principles of the Constitution will tell you in regards to anything that pertains to citizens, the population shall be involved, and public participation to be ensured. Sahi, wakati wanaongelea Rigiji, ndio wanataka ensure. Do you see the level of public participation they are doing? But when it was coming to the nation matters pertaining to education, the level of public participation was shallow. Look at this. Nchemama, Rina Rengo, so Maigari, City Primary, and Evadiga. Education is the only equalizer. This is a government which those who are leading it got to ascend to such levels because of free primary education. Wengine ni products were 50-40. 50-40 was the help version of it back then. It was given as a grant, not as a loan, like my brother Rocha was saying. Lakini serikali, it wants to make education expensive. Brother, will your kids afford the schools that even you attended? It will be a challenge. You realize that Article 97 inasema youth to be included in matters zinaongelea special interest groups, where youth tumekuwa included hapo. Youth is 18 to 35. 18 to 25, we are spending most of our time in the campus. Lakini masomo ya chuo kikuu wameweza kutoza karo ambayo haiwezi kustahimiliwa na yule ambaye ni maskini, mzazi ambaye ni fukara. Na if you want to fail and if you want a nation to crumble, what do? You touch on their education, make the population fools. Mr. Ruto is using notes he was taught by the best, Moi, but does not consider that the Gen Z of this time, we are beneficiaries of free primary education, and now we are enlightened. We know what is right, we know what is wrong. We will call them out. We will tell them the truth. They feel intimidated because we are learned. And let us not tire. Intumna hawasae, kiro mundo asa okay, 2027, toge ende to ake kura. Kiro munde, yense, wakomanyanga, we have voted in this path. They cannot have avenues to now come and say that they are constitutionally and in position rightfully. Thank you.
Hebu tuona wanasema nini wale ambao wanatufuata kupitia mitandao ya kijamii kupitia namba yetu ya SMS. Mkogoti o Pacific Atebanga, thank you sir. Alex Nyakweba kurwa Maroro Kisi County na onde ime yomoroberio amona David Mauti Nyakweba. Elijah Chinega listening from Keroka nice work. Lydia Nyamboki Ensake ya Monyamira County. Mwalimu Onchuru anasema following thanks Lochevo Ibo. Na kuna mwalimu Mutini from Kisii County following the show. Jeria Kerubo wakile Bunyakuru wa Mungu Manama Baharin Kingdom goika inka Kisii County Mwakege Village na wewe Samuel Ongeri na my mom Samuel Ongeri na my mom Mariana bonsi watu aleri tuko ligia. Hao ni baadhi ya wale ambao wanafuata kipindi hiki asubuhi ya leo wanaozungumza nasi. Let me go to Emma. Ningependa uzungumzie kwamba unaona kwamba serikali yetu ya Kenya imeweza kupea masuala ambayo ni ya muhimu uzito kutoka tukiangalia kwamba vile ambavyo tumeanza kwamba serikali imeanza ama wabunge wameanza kujadili swala hili la impeachment ya Rigathi Gachagua. Ukiweza kuzungumza hata kwa Kisii tuambie kwamba aroche serikali neto bulito ama ngana ya ande au misita wa Kenya akato beto ranga public participation yakao kera nsemo ane mono igoro yo muswalo ku mwaka isiko Rigathi Gachagua.
Thank you. I feel like union chera yoko rusi attention yito as the important things that are happening. In the sense, we have things that you could focus on, lakini wameamua to divert to impeachment. And again, just to say my stand, I don't think we can impeach one person and leave the other. They entered that position as they used that ticket, a single ticket. So kama wanatoka watoke wote. But again, that is a way of diverting our attention. And if at all they do, if at all they think we should participate, public participation in a happen for every issue that the Kenyans should be involved in, not just when they need us. Because we've had instances where we don't even know when things happen. We need to make our wanasema wameuza airport. Okay, they didn't really sell it. But we didn't know what was happening until it happened.
Now
so I feel like when I figure out
nikuja kwake upande wake Mazayo, ningependa uzungumzie haswa mambo ambayo tuliweza kuyaona siku ya Ijumaa ambapo wakati kulikuwa na kukusanywa kwa maoni ya Wakenya sehemu tofauti haswa katika ukumbi mkuu wa Bomas. Tuliona kwamba kuna kijana ambaye ameweza kujitokeza, amemulikia utendakazi wa serikali anayeitwa Morara Kebaso, lakini tuliona kwamba aliweza kuvamiwa na pia hatukuona hata askari yeyote akijitokeza kumsaidia. Na pia tuliona kwamba kulikuwa na viongozi ambao walikuwa ni kama wanaongoza wale vijana like they were inciting the youths, especially on the matter of attacking Morara. Do you feel as a youth, especially after seeing what happened at Bomas of Kenya?
My thoughts, of course, after seeing the incident, I was not surprised. Of course, the government has various ways or various mechanisms of dealing with those who go against their wish and those who are like a nuisance to them. So it was quite obvious and quite clear that those who are doing that, they were, of course, hired goons that were within the premises. And it was evident enough when tuliona pia yule kijana Morara kwanza kabisa hakuruhusiwa kuingia ndani ya ukumbi ule. Yeye kwake kuingia ndani ya ule ukumbi ilibidi atumie nguvu na mbinu za kuchekesha sana, unaona. Na hata baada ya yeye kuingia bado wako nakasa kama pia kuna watu walitumwa tayari wakawa ndani na wakapewa clear instructions. Jamaa siongee ndugu yukan can ensure asiingie. And that's why they began to protest, because why did they want to say wananchi hawakutupa viti kwa mtu yote, mbona tu walikuwa wanatupa viti kwake. Na pia ndio ujue kwamba wale walikuwa ni hired. Hakuna mtu ambaye alikuja publicly mpaka sasa, hakuna mwananchi ambaye amecriticize Morara publicly, hakuna hata mmoja. Kwa hivyo wale tu ndio ambao walipwa, na we've seen that been done before. Hata katika zile maandamano za hapo awali wanapanga maandamano, wengine wanatumwa kuja kufanya counter maandamano, na pia wanapigania kufanya maandamano. Ndio haya tukunzi. Kwa mimi jambo ambalo ningeona tu kuambia vijana wengi ama vijana sana kwamba msitumike vibaya kukandamiza demokrasia. Maana hiyo 1200 utapewa ya kuulisha sahihi, lakini je hayo mabilioni ambayo yangepaisha kama mradi fulani ungewekwa vipi? So it's wise and it's prudent that kama vijana we support one of our own who is doing the best. At least he's doing civic education, and no one is paying for doing that. So it's worth that to give him some enough support. The peer and the peer we also encourage other Moraras like him who are out there. We all will come up, because the more we have more Moraras, the more we have a voice to speak to the nation. Lakini once tunapiga moyo, tunapiga vita online physically, yeye pia ni binadamu. Ipo siku itafika pia atachoka, sema pia fuck it, naye pia aende. So with that we have lost on a very strategically, and we love ourselves to blame. So it's well that we support ourselves and we support one of our own, na tusikubali kutumika vibaya ili kumleta kijana mmoja ambaye anafanya pia machini. So hayo ndio maana ambayo ningependa, lakini pia nilifurahishwa na jinsi wananchi walikuwa wanajieleza waziwazi bila kuogopa. Na kuna yule mwanadada wa Embakasi South, kuna yule bwana mwenyewe pia alikuwa anaongea, kuna pia Caroline Mtoko pia aliongea. Kwa hivyo hii ina maana ya kwamba wananchi tumeamka na tuko na we might not be like right now, lakini deep in our hearts and in our minds we know what we are going to. Unajua kwamba 2027 we are going to make a significant change. And yes, kuna system, but we hope that God will be there for us, that we as citizens will rise up to the occasion in large numbers and vote wisely. So the leaders who we think or who we know or who we feel that are the best for us. So that we won't have a replica of what we are having right now. Yes.
Now moving on, because of the interest of time, Kerabich, I want to give you 1 minute to tell us what is your position and what is your view as the youths concerning the impeachment motion that is going on, and if you had a chance of advising the MPs and the president, what could you tell them concerning the same, what is happening in the country?
Thank you so much. I stand with the youth that the youth should come up and take the lead, creating a vibrant political change, because the change is what we want to do. My suggestion on the impeachment of the deputy president, the president was elected when the deputy president was appointed. Both of them wanafika ballot pamoja, but sisi tunajua the president. So I want to personally to be the deputy president is a tribal bigot leader. We want the deputy president to also realize that there are some mountains in the lands, Kisi, Nyamira, and Omabi part. Let him stop being. Let the deputy president. I can hear some echo. Let the deputy president stop being tribal and let him be a leader who can be able to unite all Kenyans. Political inclusivity. To our MPs, they were elected and we mandated them with the job. Let them listen to the ground and they do justice where possible. And also, the same way they have taken the deputy president impeachment seriously, let them take Kenyans' issues seriously, such that a new funding model, unemployment rate, poverty. Let us not come for them when serious issues, especially in the rising of the 17 SDGs, are important. And when they hear the removal or the impeachment of the deputy president, all of them will want to agree here and there.
Tunapoenda kumalizia asubuhi ya leo, ningependa Laban to give us your parting shot. You can also speak to the youth in Kisii, especially on what needs to be done in just a minute.
Thank you so much. Regarding, let me begin by the deputy president impeachment. The social contract theory by John Locke. We donate our power to the leaders and we can take it back whenever we want. The president and the deputy were elected in one candidate, Makanga Kufa, Dereva Kufa. Kwamba they are one piece, standing for infinity, na wote wacha watoke. Hapa sae wagusi ilangwa neno ino. Togo hade enough power to lead this nation. Much power sits in our vote. Kiro muntu tigasoke, reto gote banga mobo ate bibale. Kiro muntu tigagenda se DC ga busongo. Abo ateke kwande kiae. Kiro muntu asoke 2027 agenda abeke kura. Igari aseta kikaine. Ndo gote banga ni moto gote ori to vote in favor of. But we know, we don't know who will vote for, but we know who we will not vote for. As citizens, as youth, let us stand to be counted. History will reward us for the detriments that we did not fight for our nations. We are patriots, and national anthem justice be our shield and defender. May we dwell in unity, peace, and liberty. That is my parting shot.
Okay. Asante sana kwa kuweza kufika katika mjadala huu asubuhi ya leo. Thank you for making to today's interview. We are really appreciating your efforts, your sacrifice, and also your commitment to even have come to share with our audience. You know, we begin small as we get to reach more audience and also get to impact more youth. Mwanchumuliria on Ndizi TV, abuno turachukira mweli obugo sanga nabageni baitu asemambi yabono byabono asoto bwate kurwa asemambi yarenge entambe wekera chinga kichabono asekulino mwanchumuliria Ndizi TV ndaliko beba twatokubwaterana nabaro Frida Kirubo na twabatogo chaka nere kurwa asemambi yarenge entambe ongaliba usanga nabageni baitu Abigail Nyanchama nero nekinga chibichibigo na Mariugi abira wikira asenchira Jobo ikirano Victor Obang Sultan nero bakone kinga chibichechi oigo na Mariugi yabeka yarengana ni wetira asenchiriria yechi kamera ne mitambo yaito ase studio wikira chinga kichinde na abere nkubaganiria oburiria obya Ndizi TV na wowansu umurusi twara ituko lire ligia
bari na nitakuja bayo.
Ndizi TV.